was pretty.
He awed himself.
That's
LeBron said he awed himself.
AD, who I think is a top 10 player, had a quiet game and was not himself, according to the broadcast. He went down with this little injury here. Here he is after the game.
I feel really good, and I'm all about getting wins, no matter how I do it, how we do it. Things not gonna always be perfect. You know, sometimes you got to win ugly. Sometimes you don't play well, but still try to leave your imprint on the game. And that's what I try to do tonight on the defensive end. Had some good looks, missed them, but still try to do the little things to help the team win.
So here's the stat line there, bro. Quizzical AD looking at his own stats. Should AD be happy with this performance?
Look, they won. All right, that's the most important thing. They won. And AD he was very good defensively. He had the 4 block shots. And their defense, I mean, they clogged up the lane.
Yep.
And so Memphis, which isn't a great three-point shooting team, had to take a bunch of threes, and they were bricking them. And so on that end of the floor, he was fine. He had 5 points, 5 of his 12 in overtime. He led all scores in overtime. Right. Yeah. So it was okay. But AD has to look in the mirror, Nick, and he has to look in the mirror and ask himself 2 things. One, why am I so inconsistent? I go from 31. It's one thing for Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell and role players to go up and down. Yeah. We get that. You aren't supposed to do that. He goes from 31 points in Game 3 to 12 last night. He goes from 22 points in Game 1 to 13 in Game 2. You're not going to get 30 every night. But he's got to be more consistent than he's been. So that's number one. Number 2, and this is my pet peeve, AD, I just think he has to start getting up off the floor quicker. Don't act like every time you hit the ground, it is a season-ending injury potentially. Now look at this with the hip. Dennis Schroeder runs over and is trying to get him up, like pull him up, like dude, come on. Look at it. He's like, get up. Yeah. That tells me that Schroeder's like, dude,
wasn't worried
every
about him?
time you hit it, AD, you're not.
The referees.
No, because they knew.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, this is ridiculous. And I think that can be mental. Like, stop.
All right, listen,
get up fast.
I agree. Every
hurt.
time he goes down, it looks like there was a sniper in the crowd. And then you just hope he's okay.
Gosh, it's scary.
I also think, and shout out to Inside the NBA, not only for, listen, they're the best sports show on TV, and for a lot of reasons. And I think we all have friends involved with that show. But Kenny had, I thought, a great point. And it was one that I knew, but I hadn't thought of. So Shaq is killing AD because Shaq wants every big man to be Shaq, which I understand. Like, I'm not taking a shot, but he does. Like, Shaq sometimes, I think, underrates his own dominance, thinking other guys could do it. Kenny said, guys, do you remember Anthony Davis at Kentucky? He was the no doubt generational prospect #1 pick. That season, how many times do you think Anthony Davis scored 25 points?
Oh, yeah.
Twice. 0 times scored 30. When they won the national championship, he had 6 points. 16 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, 6 blocks.
Yeah, that was a weird game.
Well, he didn't average a lot of points
in the tournament.
That year.
14 rebounds, 12 points, 3 assists, 5 blocks per game. Anthony Davis was generational defensively, who then early in his career in New Orleans developed into a dominant offensive player. But it was never his nature. And which is why I think when he has an off night, he's still awesome defensively. Even when he is not feeling great, when he doesn't have his confidence, it is natural for him to still kick ass defensively. But he has to really be feeling it to be great offensively, which, listen, is a massive flaw. Yeah. But while he's still without a doubt, you said it somewhat skeptically, there's not 10 guys in the league you'd rather have. We go up and down the list, there's not 10. Because
if you take out injury, obviously.
Well, right. If you take out because to his credit, he suffered 1 injury this year and otherwise has been pretty healthy, and the whole league seemingly was hurt this year. Like I want to hear your thoughts.
No, I think this is going to end up biting them. If LeBron doesn't make that layup, Anthony Davis's whole demeanor
7-point
post
game.
game is like, I got to be better.
Yep.
I got to do a
He
better job.
apologizes, right. It's
and
his
also,
fault.
you wouldn't get all those points that you got in overtime. So it would look, that stat line looks even worse.
Well, good point.
Yeah.
That was cogent.
I've been delivering cogent analysis. I told you I'm grinding the all 10.
Slow down.
That
was a good one.
My guy Dylan Brooks went 1 for 7 from 3.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Well,
Here's Tim McMahon with a report that's not a report, but I still liked it. Dylan Brooks didn't speak to reporters for the second straight game. I'm out, he said. Nick, your reaction?
Yeah. Yeah. So listen, I hope Dylan Brooks enjoys his last couple of games as a Grizzly. They're not going great. Maybe he'll have a good one. He will be a good culture setter for Ime Udoka and the Houston Rockets next year. I'll call that shot right now. But I think that's going to happen. He's a free agent. They have cap space. They need a vet. They need a defensive mind. He'll go down there and he'll go into NBA obscurity where he probably belongs.
Ooh, I don't
He got
know.
a little too big
They
for
got
his
some
britches.
talent, though.
He got a
Wemby and
little
Sengun?
too big for his britches, and this dates back to January. So, since I just gave you a future look at Dylan Brooks, let's take a past look at Dylan Brooks to the Dylan Brooks timeline. Can we just play a bunch of sound, please? Go right ahead.
He doesn't want to go left. I was just making him go left all game. I wouldn't mind playing LeBron in a 7-game series. I don't care. He's old. I poke bears. I don't respect no one until they come and give me 40. The media making me a villain. The fans making me a villain. And then that just creates a whole different persona on me.
So here's the deal.
Okay, we get
Can we show how LeBron iced the game? Because Dylan Brooks wanted this matchup, said he's old, said he pokes bears, and famously in January said he doesn't want to go left. And I do believe that was LeBron James's left hand because Dylan Brooks had hooked his right arm the whole way to the basket that LeBron drove left and scored. So there's the problem. You're just not good enough. You can talk all the...
Especially not to talk to LeBron like that.
Right, and you listen, you got to at least, you don't have to be as good as LeBron. Draymond's not as good as LeBron, but Draymond will win some of these battles. Dylan Brooks ain't gonna win nothing. Right. And then he once again doesn't stay true to the cartoon character he's developed, and he runs from the media availability. Listen, I don't know, maybe he had an appointment to go up the chimney where the Grizzlies want all the smoke, I heard, and they have no problems in the West and they want the Lakers. But it doesn't seem to be working out very well for him, Brew.
Remember last week when I said I'm starting to like Dylan Brooks?
Yeah.
I'm starting not to like him. all right. I'm serious. I mean, come on, Dylan Brooks.
Is anybody rooting for the guy?
Well,
I'll root for you, Dylan Brooks.
Look, if you talk this talk, you have to face the media. Number one is your job. It's part of your job. We remember LeBron James after his struggles in 2011 on the world stage. It was going to be his first championship. He still went to the press conference and answered those questions. Yeah, he might have made a few missteps, but he still had to face the music.
Still going to be you.
All right?
Good job, Steve.
And look, it's been reported, right, that because Ja didn't meet with the media, that Ja and Dylan Brooks kind of done this through the season, right after losses. That is on the Memphis Grizzlies PR staff and the NBA. No, you got to step in and make these dudes available.
Are you telling me the Memphis Grizzlies management might not have it all together?
Right. There's a lot going awry in Memphis, but no, he's got to answer for everything you put on there. You got to answer for. Of course. Dylan, do you regret the statement that you poked bears? This is one of the greatest players of all time. Dylan, why can't you hit a three-point shot? Dylan, you said LeBron couldn't go left. LeBron can't take you one-on-one. What happened on that last one? You got to answer the questions and face the music.
It is important in life to be accountable for things you say, which is why we do this segment, Wild's Weird Tweets. Or Wild's Thoughts, whatever it is.
I can only imagine where you were going.
Yesterday, LeBron James seemed to be exerting quite a bit of effort on the defensive end. Kevin Wildes took issue with it. You cannot Dikembe finger wave a block shot that was 7 feet off the ground. Wildes, go ahead.
Okay.
The floor is yours.
I think I'm going to try to convince Brew.
Yeah.
So this was a desperation scoop shot, Brew. that LeBron blocked. This was a shot that honestly you or I could block.
No. Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
It was 2 feet below
Against
the
Desmond
net.
Bain. Okay.
So and he does
Whatever
the
you say.
Dikembe finger wave.
Yeah.
I think that this iconic celebrations
Yeah.
need to be held for iconic moments. If someone does here's some good Dikembe blocks, above the rim,
Yeah.
impressive blocks. If somebody wants to do the LeBron stomp